ये आपकी 16:9 में नहीं है क्या स्लाइड? आज 16:9 में नहीं है क्या?
हाँ हाँ,
तो पूछ रहे हैं कि आपकी
सेम है
सेम है ना उसी में?
हाँ तो उसी को कॉपी किया है।
वो पूछ रहे हैं कि आपको फुल स्क्रीन करके तो दिया है?
हाँ फुल स्क्रीन तो है,
हाँ
ना दिखाई भी दे रहा है, देख सर
ठीक है, मैं स्लाइड ठीक था ना, इसमें चलेंगे।
बैठ जाइए सर।
पानी मिल जाएंगे पानी
हाँ पानी में बोल दे
थोड़ा इधर आना है इसलिए हो जाएगा।
चेक करते हैं दोबारा करें क्या? 16:9 करना आता है क्या? रुपेश को बुला फटाफट।
ऐसे तो हो सकता है, थोड़ा सा इस साइड में ठीक है।
हेलो सर, एक बार मैं चेक करा देता हूँ दोबारा। वैसे मैं करा देता हूँ उसको। ओके ओके, मैं करा देता हूँ दोबारा। इसको मैं कैंसिल करा के ना दोबारा से लिंक शेयर करा देता हूँ। हमारे भी एक मिनट रुकिए। पता नहीं क्यों साइड में थोड़ा थोड़ा कट रहा था दोनों साइड में, और फुल स्क्रीन तो कर रखा है हमने, क्योंकि इससे ज्यादा होगा तो अभी दिक्कत हो जाएगी। ठीक है ठीक है, बैठिए बैठिए। अभी कुछ नहीं होता, मत दो। जी कट क्यों रहा है वो? सर टेलीपोर्ट अब कुछ नहीं होगा। बोल दो ना, 2 मिनट बाद
एक्चुअली हुआ ये नो हो गया, एक मिनट में हो
सर अब चेक करिए हो गया कुछ दिन? नहीं ठीक है, वैसे क्रॉप हमारे यहाँ से फुल हो गया, मतलब यदि क्रॉप नहीं करें तो सही दिखेगा। ओके ओके सर, टाइम हो गया।
इसका अपने घड़ियां दिखाएंगे, थोड़ा सा साइड कोई भी एक साइड में कर दीजिए, इधर
और थोड़ा कर दीजिए
बाद।
ठीक है सर, आप आगे बढ़िए। वो जो अभी भी अगर कट रहा हूँ आप हाथ दिखाइए और उसके बाद सीधे चालू कर दीजिए।
थोड़ा सा लास्ट में बस
सर वेट मत करिएगा, चालू कर दीजिएगा, कोई नहीं बोलेगा ना, आप गिनिए और चालू कर दीजिए।
Good morning. So, as usual, today I am H. Biswas. Again, thank you very much to everybody. So, today our same topic, same courses, MMPC 001, 011, and so which course title is Social Processes and Behavioral Issues. Today, block 2 will discuss about the block 2, that is interpersonal process. And there are 4 units. There are unit number 4, that is personality, values, and attitudes. Unit number 5 is learning and behavioral modification. And unit 6 is perceptions and attributions. And unit 7 is motivation. So I'll try to finish first 3 units, 4, 5, and 6 today. And unit number 7 and block 3, next session we'll do it. So anyhow, so here actually you see the first things we have to discuss about the different models of the understanding the human behavior, implications of the organizations, their personality, determinants of the personality, type and trait, approaches to personality, theories of personality, impact of personality, different traits of organizational behavior, importance of personality, attitudes, and organization attitudes, and the values, and socialization's influence of the personality, values, and attitudes, and socialization different models. So this is a little bit big units. I mean, a lot of things are there, but this is related to your personality, values, attitudes, things. Now, first of all, we have to try to understand. You see, to understand it is very essential for understand the human behavior. In today's world, as an existence of the organization depends on the employees and individuals, because because any organizations are based on the employees and individuals. So you have to know their behavior patterns, human behavior, then only we can see. Personality is a concept that we use continuously in our day-to-day routine while dealing with people. All organizations are composed of individuals with different personality, attitudes, values, perception, motives, aspirations, and abilities. As per the Denn's analysis, the nature of people in terms of, there are 4 assumptions are there. Individual differences, a whole person, and then caused behavior, that is some sort of motivations, and value of the persons, that is a human dignity. So, model of the human behavior, here actually you have to see a psychometric analysis, analytic model, that Freudian approach depends on the conflict model of humans. Freud felt that the individual's behavior depends on 3 factors. One is the ID, that is identity or identification, so we can say. Number B is the ego, and the C is the superego. That we have to try to discuss about the details. Identity, that is ID in short, that is by ID, it means the basically plays that some sort of your identity is there. So certain degree of having ID as an individual is constructed by may lead to the destructive tendencies like being, and other things are there actually included, that's aggressive, dominating, fighting, and generating destroy. So this kind of distinctive is more dominating in childhood, basically. So, but once individuals develop and mature, they learn to control the ID. So, but it is always unconscious. Sometimes you see in the childhood, some of the things they don't know, are not aware of all these things. So that they have to control slowly when they are learning process, slowly they know where the aggressions has to be limited, where that type of behavioral pattern will be changed. So throughout the life, that ID becomes important source of thinking and behaving. It is actually dynamic features. It may not be a constant, that thing. Ego. There's an ego represents the conscious stage. Some stages are there in one's behavior. Sometimes consciously he is doing all these things. Though ID comes in conflict with ego, sometimes that the inner mind are saying something, it is sometimes this conflict, aggression will come, but after that he may be a cool down. So that time there is a conflict is going on inside the mind. So ego depends on the superego. Then that is superego. Basically, it represents the conscious stage, and our individual is not aware of the superego's functioning. The conscious is depend on the two factors: the cultural and the moral of the society. There are two factors that are playing in the mind, in the level of mind individuals. So because of that, ego is coming to you. The superego is developed depends mostly on parents' influence from the childhood, what the way he has upbringing and all these things are depends on the things. Once the child grows up, the children will unconsciously identifies with parent value and moral. Basically, what happened? They are follow the parents initially, then after that the neighbors and the teachers, what are the in the social systems they are slowly seen, and again that way they are growing up things. So all these things are time to time it may be a change or it may not be a change. Sometimes that pattern cannot be changed 100%. Existential model is saying that it is not scientifically based. Its base is literature and philosophy. This model believes that the depersonalizing effects of this environment forces individuals to make their own identity. So the individuals shape their own identity and make their existence meaningful and worthwhile to themselves. Today, people have become so materialistic and busy, so they do not have time for traditional values and norms. It became impractical sometimes to follow them because as you see nowadays people are running after the wealth and they have to career growth and they have to phase out the situation to tackle the situations. So sometimes the need are also basically it will create some sort of your importance. And the responsibility is also high, and stress level is also very high. Becoming stress is because of this, they are going for the materialistic business. Behaviouristic model here actually, in this model, the behavior is dependent on two factors: stimulus and response. So learning occurs with this kind of model. Pavlov and the Watson, with their research, felt that behavior can be best understood by stimulus and response. So this model are represent as SR stimulus responses. That is basically the research method are applicable. These applications are basically in the research method for doing for this model. Cognitive model. Again, this model emphasizes the positive and free will factors of the human beings and uses concepts such as the expectancy, demand, and incentive. Tolman, with his experiments, found that the basis of learning as an experiency, which is understood as one particular event leading to a particular consequence, that's a goal. We can say because of this goal, the expectancy they're doing. Human behavior is based on these goals. The cognitive model is represented as, we can say, stimulus, organisms, and response model. So here, basically, all of the model we are talking about, the model, basically different models. Now we are see the implications for the organizations. Their personality. Gordon Alford defined the personality as the dynamic organization within the individuals of these or psychophysical systems that determine his unique adjustments to his environment. Personality can be described more specifically as how a person affects others, how one understands and views oneself, and the pattern of inner and outer measurable traits. So here, personality are to be judged based on his what understanding he has, how he has understand the things and feelings, the pattern and the inner soul, what he is thinking, that has to be affecting your personality. Some determinants are in the personality that you have to see. What are the determinants of the personality? That is heredity, one of the, as you know, the physical appearance, temperament, energy level, and biological rhythms are the characteristics which are generally influenced by one's parents, because it's traditionally by the generation by some genes which will come automatically. It's a good physiques or temperament, whatever the things are coming. Even in the, you see the biological, even in the doctor also saying sometimes some diseases, something in your heredity, some blood pressure is there or not, and something diabetes. So this is basically some sort of your identity that hereditary, it has to be automatically transferred to generation by generations. So that is one of the determinant part of the personality. So here heredity approaches fields that personality of an individual in the molecular structure of the genes located in the chromosomes. So now environment culture plays an important role in the formation of personality. So early conditioning, the norms among the family, then the friends and social groups. With the socialization process, the group personalities are altered over time. What childhood, what type of friend circle you have, what type of your focus on the study, or what type of novel or anything. So what are the conditioning? What conditioning you have and you are developed. So all these things are, that is part of your environmental part. That is also affected your, this is one of the determinant of your personality. Another determinant is that is situation. That through an individual personality is constant. It does change depending on the situation, because normally it is a constant, because whatever the personality does not change. But if the situation will come, different situations, that time it may change, because that time you have to take some your decisions, and so decision making process will be generated based on your knowledge, your action will be taken by lot of factors will be playing in your mind that time. So situation call for the different aspects of your personality. Now, a type and a trait approaches to personality. that has to be counted. This may be 1, 2, 3, whatever the things are, or characteristics it will take, that has to be counted. So treat approach is the traditional viewed individuals as shy, lazy, melancholy, and ambitious, aggressive. These were called a trait basically, because some sort of things. Speedy, or this is also a part of things. Type of behavior to personality. Personality has been grouped into 2 categories. That is denoted by alphabets A and B. You can see there is A and B. There are 2 categories: the type A behavior and type B behavior. Now we have to define it. What is the type A behavior? So people who are hard driving, impatient, aggressive, and super competitive are termed as type A personality. So type A people tend to be very productive and work very hard. They are workaholics. The negative side of them is that they are impatient, not good team players, more irritable, and have poor judgment. Means they can take what are the actions they are taking, they are not very calculated, or because of the hurry, because of the speed, they are whatever they are in the mind, they are likely to do this. So those who are easygoing, social, and laid back and non-competitive are termed as type B, because they are not participating in any competitive situations. They don't like it. They do as per their own way. A little bit take a long time. So this type of behavioral pattern, you can see that is a type B personality. Types of behavior to personality. Again, the personality has been things. Type B behavior again derives some of the more quality. Those who are easygoing, do not have urgency for time, lay down, are termed as type B personality. Type B people do better on complex tasks. Here, point to be noted, here the things are from the organizational point of view, because you see the type B people do better on complex tasks involving judgment, accuracy, rather than speed and teamwork. So this is some individuals, you can see this type of behaviors. They can do better in the complex stuff, because their patience is there, that they can slowly, they have to try to involve and try to awareness is more. They can have it take more time to take the decisions. So they are fully involved with the jobs, and that's why they are able to take the good judgment. Now, personality values and attitudes, we can say, that is your theories of the personality. So Carl Jung identified 3 basic assumptions in the theory. Personalities are developmental in that they are influenced by past and hopes for the future. All people have the potential for growth and change. Personality is the totality of a person's interactive and subsystems. Here there are 3 things there. Here's highlighted. One of the personality development, hopes and the futures, and another thing the growth and change, and another thing within the subsistence, what the way his personality are. So there are 3 ideas. Basis, he has given some theories. Basically, it is the assumptions, and based on this, they have declared this is the outcomes of the personalities. Now, the 4 dimensions of this theory here, there are 4 dimensions. It has been observed, or by the theories, it has come out things. some of the individuals about percent are extrovert, and some of the people are in the introvert sides. They are spoken out, or they are open-minded, or everything they can say, whatever they are in mind, they can immediately forecast the things. But some other way, they see some of the individuals are introvert. They are not come out to not so much openness. They are whatever that they are thought process or thinking process they are keeping in the mind, or they are internally they are thinking all these things. So this is the basic difference between these things. Another is sensing type, and another is versus the intuitive types. Some people are sensationally is good, but they are not create something. Some the intuition before the action, they can pre-decide some proactive work they can do it, or they can idea, or they can already some intuitions they have know the things can be done. So before that they can have a action like this way. And another thinking type and the perceptive types. Another thing is something they are doing based on their thinking thought process. What are the coming in their mind, they can do it. But some of the individuals they are thinking, they are go on understand the more, they are searching more, and especially they are in the perfection and the perfective type what they have to do it. They may be erase, they may be delete their inside, they may be correcting himself, they can modify the things, and finally they are given output. So different dimensions are talking about here, and it has come out based on this theory only. Then judging type, some of the individuals you might have seen, they are always in a calculated, logically they have to think all these things, why it has happened, how it has happened. Always they are seeing the merits, demerits, both the things they are think about it. In other way, some of the individuals, they can say, again, they are thinking the perfections and their correctness, the quality, and other way they are thinking how to modify it, the positive thinking. Until and unless they are satisfied 100%. So that is the basically the type of your judging type and the your perspective types. So there are various dimensions talking about, and now we have to go for see the development of the personality. So far, actually, we have discussed, basically, we have seen the personality, how it has derived, type of the people, behavioral patterns, what are the models are there, what are the researches, theories are there. So all these things is a part of your, we have discussed now. Now we have to see the development of the personality, how to develop this. So as you see, there are 8 life stages. Erections, as says, there is stage 1, infancy, the childhood, newborn. Then after that, the stage 2 is the early childhood. And 3 is the play age. That time you can only play the things. And then after that is school age and adolescence, young adulthood, then adulthood, then your later the life things. So these are 8 stages. You can see the car one by different stages. You can distribute the things. For the human ground, you can see there are 60 that active lives. You can see that active life. There's the age is 60 years. After that, the retirement. So there you can segregate. You can divide it into 8, divided by 8. So hardly every stages, you can say when the change is going on in the life also. The life cycles, human life cycles, you can also contribute in this, the 60 divided by 8, then you can divide it that way, the ages of these things. So then theories of personality, life cycle of the organization. Now here we are talking about the life cycle of the organizations. The individual's behavior towards others is largely based on specific assumptions and that are made early in life. So as we discussed, extroverts versus sensing and thinking, that type of. So there are 4 categories there. The total type is 8, and it is, we can say, comparing the others also, we can see. Now, important of the personality. Now we have to coming, the point is why the personality is important. In this aspect, you see the understanding of the personality is very important, because by determining what characteristics will make for effective job performance, because from the organizational point of view, you have to know his character so that he can perform the job performance. Personal selections, then job characteristics, interact, better hiring, transfer, and promotion decisions, and by providing insights into personality development, it can help the anticipate. Here, actually, I'd like to highlight some of the points, because, for example, you have to recruit the things, because the selection or hiring the people, you have to see his behavioral pattern also. Not only the qualification is not sufficient, you have to see his behavioral patterns also. So that's why the interactions is also required, interviews, some of the aptitude tests. Based on this, you can know. And even in the nowadays in the hiring systems, the panel, in the panel board, there are some psychologists also, they are appointed. He has also asked some of the questions based on this, so that he can he can understand these characters also, behavioral pattern also. And even it is also required for the transfer. You are posting somebody somewhere where the different type of situation, there are different type of environment. So you have to ensure before sending or before transfer to somebody, he is able to do the things, or he will be adjust with these circumstances or not. That prior you have to, as a proactive actions, you have to take it. So that's why the personality development is very much required. You have to anticipate before things. And then all this process, what are the modules, everything which we are talking right now regarding these things, that even in the part of your intrapersonal process during these things. So all these things are basically to healthy conditions from the organization point of view. So there are certain procedures by which personalities can be predicted. There are some of the tools and mechanisms are there. The rating scales for peers and the friends. Now you can circulate some of the questionnaires to the friends, and what the way he is mixing with the others, what the way he is talking. So it will be measured. So experimental procedure is also there. There are some tools and mechanisms are there. Definitely some standards, some methods are there. Basically the methods are there. Projective test like thematic appreciation test, another things there. Rochan's ink blot test is another test. This measures help in effectiveness of the organizations, because it's time all this is part basically before hiring, the time of recruitment. Definitely this part are taken care. Even in the in between, also in the organizations also, time to time, maybe after 5 years, 10 years, in between also we have to take it, or maybe during the promotion time, or maybe the transfer time, they have to train themselves. Because if I identify the person, these things, something is lagging, so organizations can take care about these things to develop these things. That's why it is important for the things, because it is needed. It is a requirement. Basically, the somewhere some personality that you have to require, because you have to take some big responsibility. So before that, you have to develop in all respects. Attitudes. Attitudes are a way of responding either valuably or unfavorably. So to objects, persons, concepts, etc. So attitudes are related to behavior, because this definitely it will come based on your behavior only. So it is an in-dimensional variables, positive, it may be or negative, what the way your attitude is. So they are hypothetical constructs. So it is sometimes something inside a person. It may be observed by the attitude itself. Cannot. So other way I can say the attitudes in a person's to be observed in three ways. There are some ways are there how to observe the things. Direct experience with the persons or situations, that is by the interactions, by the interview, some you can experience it. And association with other similar persons or situations, you can put him in a particular situations, or some of the association where you can also judge the things, but the way he is behaving and what type of ethics or whatever is attitudes also there. These are related to your personal only. So learning is also important because sometimes learning can change your behavior. It is one of the parts is there. Your attitude may change because before and after learning, or suppose for example training, before training and after training, definitely it will be may not be 100%, but what are the things has to be changed. Maybe behavioral pattern can be changed. Others his attitudes may be changed. It is proven basically. Now learning. That's the learning from others is like reflections and the observations. Direct experience is the concrete experience stage of learning, because you see, if I say something right now, this is the things, but okay, some extent it may be clear in your mind, it may or may not be reflected in your mind, that reflection. But if you do this, if you are on job or the situations, then it will be embedded in your mind throughout the life. That experience are very important. This is the stage of learning where it will be embedded in your mind very long time. So that experience is really important. Then attitudes evolve out of perceptions and the learning process. There's another process is there. Certain basic attitudes of trust or mistrust occurs during the infancy, because starting initially maybe the perceptions are not clear. You may repeat it, repetition is required, you may learn more and more. That is the process, the learning process. Slowly you can it will be evolved, the perception basically. It's one day it may not be, or one time it may not be. That's why some of the teaching companies or somewhere training, retraining are here because of these things, to change these attitudes. Maybe in the it will be not coming first time, but it may require more perceptions, more process, more training are required to desire attitude, to obtain the desire of attitudes, which are actually set by the organizations. So if a child's basic needs are met in a loving manner, the child will develop a sense of trust. Otherwise, a sense of mistrust develops. Because you see something you are providing in your child in the childhood. So that means you will give a trust. You know the father will come with some chocolate or something. So it is a different trust is there. He knows his father is loving, his mother is loving, or most of the times. So that will create some trust. Whatever you want, what your demand, they will definitely fulfill you. It is that a mutual trust will develop. So in the organizations also, if you see the organizational point of view, so it is very needed. So you have to see your subordinates, see your employees are feel as a child, and slowly they have to grow it. If there are some demand is there, they are not. It is required. So that create a development. That interpersonal relation has to be create. That only if it is some trust is not there, then production will be less, your productivity will be less, efficiency cannot be go up. So the child also develops a sense of autonomy or shame and doubt. All these affects one's behavior, and this linkage to behavior is what managers are concerned with and they also tend to understand the ways in which behavior affects attitudes. So that's it is the last time is saying basically the managers are concerned with. So they also tend to understand the ways in which behavior affects the attitudes. Now, attitudes are and the organizations. Now we have to see the attitudes and as well as the organization point of view. So there are three primary attitudes. One is the job satisfaction. It is basically you are satisfied or dissatisfied because you are happy or unhappy. It may be, or because when you are joining the company in any organizations, so what are the job is given to you, it may or may not be liking for you. But so that is what type of attitudes you have, you are presenting. That is also important. Means it has to be noted, it has to be redressed, it has to be changed somehow, and by the mutual discussion, through this counseling or something. So job involvement is another thing. Is actively participation or not? Because when you are already in an association or in a team or in some group, so that there see that the employee are how much involved with this job or not. Actively he is participating or not, that has to be observed. And organizational commitment, there's another aspect for the to identify the attitudes, primary attitudes, the loyalty, identity, how much you are love your organizations, and involvement in the organizations. That is your organizational commitment. So there are all three aspects basically here, the primary attitudes, which are the organizational attitude, other way I can say, the attitudes and the organizations, means these three are prime requirement for from the employees. That type of attitudes are required. First of all, you have to see he is happy or not, just situation, and then how much involvement is there, and he is really committed or not. The managers need not be interested only in understanding the attitudes of the people, but also in changing them. Here, the another point is there that at the same time, the manager has a responsibility to see their development also. They have to change them. Since attitudes are learned, they can be changed. So persuasive communications are used to change attitudes, but attitudes are slow to change, because in this case, you see the you have to communicate the particular employees for his attitudes. It may take some long time. It may not be a one fine day. You cannot change all these things. So it is some sort of your persuasions and what the way you are talking, what the way you are channelize the things. That is the important part. Then values. Values are here actually. See the value. So far there's a lot of things are there. People to people changing. How it has, now we have to try to analyze the things. The value has been taken to mean moral ideas, general conceptions or orientations toward the world. You see, the values are collective conceptions of what is considered good, desirable, and proper or bad, undesirable, and improper in a culture. So the value systems will be different. But let's see after that what is written. According to Mr. Haradhan Biswas, according to Haradhan Biswas, that a value is a belief that something is good and desirable. Characteristics of values. Honoring one's parent or whom or they may be help, love, and democracy. So you see the value, sometimes to our value system in our India basically. So you see some value system is there. So we are always respect to the older generations, and we are very much see their health conditions and love affections are, we are giving some values, we are honored for these things. And in our democracy, our country, love the country, and what the way the democracy in our country, in any countries. So this is the basically all are your honoring. This is the basic characteristics basically, and the value systems. Truth prevails, love the neighbors as well as yourself. Learning is good. Value system, it may differ. It may differ culture to culture, because one may value aggressiveness and other may reverse, because it is depend. Characteristics of values, what the way you can characterize the values. The value systems, it may differ culture to culture. One may value aggressiveness and another may reverse. So, as explained by Florence Kuhlkant, 1949, in her studies of 5 small communities, basically the tribes of the American Southwest, he has surveyed. So I think around 2,000 or 3,000 population he has taken, and finally he has report has given. So one society may value individuals' achievement. It is in case of in the USA, when he has taken a sample from the USA, he has selected some of the areas, American Southwest areas, and finally has say that there the society's values are basically the individual achievement is very much important. They are given that values. Another may emphasize is the family unity and kin support. You see in here in India, we are giving a value because our family system, we are joined. Family is the main important unity where the core family, where too much we are taking the responsibility for the father, mother, wife, what are the parents within the family, and we are taking care of our kin. So that is our value systems. So here actually in India is like this. The value of hard work and individual achievement are often associated with industrial capitalist societies. You see, in the industrial capitalist, they are thinking, suppose I am an industrialist. My value will be my workers, my employee, I will work hard and I will give their good packages, good wages. So that is another value. If I am an industrialist or some capitalist in this industry I have, so definitely my focus, my value will be different. So I have to, that's why I give a value of hard workers. So there are 3 different aspects of this. So that's why I'm giving 3 things. Some of the society individual achievement, that is one of the things. Another is the value given the family, unity and kin, and your hard work. So value of a culture may change. The values of a culture may change. Values are often your emotionally charged. Because of that, it brings conflict between the different communities or societies or different persons. Sometimes it has happened because emotionally you are charged in the cases your mindset will change. It will be mapping in different way. In your mind, it will be mapped in different way. So same thing, maybe in the other persons, he is thinking in other way. That's why sometimes you see, we have come across, you can see, not only in India, worldwide, the conflict is coming in because of this. In the organizations also, that different personality people and their value systems is different, their culturally they are different. That's sometimes it will be the conflict is coming in because of this argument, then not matching the things, we are not in the focus particular on goal. So trust is not there. So because of these things will be affected. And sometimes it is a conflict with the societies and different person also. Characteristics of values. values are learned in life from family. We have learning what the value systems, what the father and mother has told in the childhood time. Don't go this, don't do this. You go here, you take a namaste or something. So these value systems are automatically generated from the childhood itself. We are just listening from the parents, especially the mother and father and other neighbors. The friendly neighborhood, then school, mass print, and you see the print media or TV, televisions, visual media. Then you are now the social media network, as you know, is very strong nowadays. Social media network and other sources within society. There also where value is changing. We are learning a lot of values from there also. So these values become part of our personalities. They are generally shared and reinforced by those with whom we interact. So here I can say one thing, that is the main thing is your important is value systems, your environment, internal and external also. So both the things are important to affect your value systems. Alford identified 6 types of values. He has identified there are 6 types of values. One is your theoretical high importance, economic, that is basically your emphasis is to be useful and practical. Aesthetic, high value on form of harmony. Social, that is your highest value is given to the love of people. Political, that is emphasis on the acquisition of power and the influence. Religious is concerned with the unity of experience and understanding of the cosmos of a world. Religious, basically, yes, some of the belief systems are things. So this is the way is categorized in the type of values, things. Socializations. Socialization says this influence on personalities, value, and attitudes. Because socialization is the process by which an individual adapts himself to the working environment and gain loyalty and commitment to the organizations. Organization influences the personality, values, and attitudes of an individual. Stages of socializations, there is a pre-arrival stage, develop preconceived notions and about an organizations. An encounter with the organizations, there is the initial then orientation, training, and experiences with other employees. Basically, here I can say in a gist what are this slides particularly contains. Basically, when you are recruiting or any individual when you're joining in the company, first you have to show his orientation, means what the company is going on. Then you have to say this is your boss, this is your subordinate, this is your colleagues, this is canteen area. So you are the familiarization of the things. So that is that time organization's influences the personality. Okay, I am working in this company, very good. So these value systems will work in the mind. So this is the basically slowly you are the stages of socializations, maybe 6 month orientation, professional period. Then after that, the permanent things. So development are going on in this. So and finally, you see that's why the orientation and training program. It can be further you enhance the things. Then interpersonal relations and another thing, your socialization, another model is there. The Chin is another model he has identified 3 ways in which individuals respond to the socializations. That is a force of the organizations and trust, exert influences in their own personalities. Then rebellions, the new employees could attempt to fight the organizations. The result might be dismissal or change in the organizations. And the creative individualizations basically are where the employees accept the organization's values, attitudes with the important and reject the others. The employee uses the combination of personal and organizational values related to the organizations. Conform is the way persons could simply conform to the organization's forces exert very little influences on the organizations. So there are three yes given. Then learning and behavioral modifications. Learning is a key process in the human behavior. The learning is a change in behavior influenced in previous behavior. What you have already, maybe there are something right or wrong that you can modify based on the learning. The skills, knowledge, habits, attitudes, interests, and the personality characteristics are all result in the learning. And there are three important elements as follows. That learning is a change in behavior. It is a change that takes place through practice or experience, but changes due to growth or maturations are not learning. Change in the, just we pointed out here one thing, but change in the growth, that is not learning. Only by the practice you can change. It can be change your behaviors, but growth depends on your work, then your what the maturity you have. These things. So this change in behavior must be relatively permanent, and it must last a fairly long time. What the changes you are in the behavioral changes, it may continue. So there is 6 important components of the learning. The learning involves a change, although the change may be for good or bad, the organization's point of view. So not all changes reflect learning. To constitute learning, change should be relatively permanent. Learning is reflected in behavior. Then another point is the change in behavior should occur as a result of experience, practice, or training. The practice or the experience must be reinforced in order of learning to occur the things. And learning occurs throughout your own lives. Classical, now important theories of the learning, there are a lot of theories there. One is the classical conditioning, one of the theories. And what is where the people are see the different conditionings and what has happened the next, the conditions. He is really crucial, really interested or not, this work or not. That predictions are there. So based on this, the curiosity is there, not learning. He has really want to learn or not, and how much associated with the particular things. So that is your classical conditions. Apparent conditions, it argues that the behavior will depend on the different situations. So based on the situation, you can identify what are actions. Cognitive theory has the conditions referred to as individual's thoughts, knowledge, and interpretations, understanding the ideas and himself and his environment, what he is behaving. That is the another theory, the cognitive theory. Social learning theory, it is called the observational learning, stresses and the ability to work individual to learn. Because when you are in the responsible workload is there, how much stresses you can absorb. So based on this, it can be observed how you can behaving the things, what the way you are behaving, that you can change it. So people and you can adjust accordingly. So this is another theory. Then 4 processes have been found that determine the influence of a model will have to an individual. That is the attention process, how much you are attentive. There's the retention process. The model's influence depends on how well the individuals remember the things, how much you are retain in the mind. And that is another model, actions. Motor reactions process is basically the practically you have to see, you just follow the things and how much you are performing the things. Same thing, you are seeing and do it. Or somebody has demonstrated the things, you can do it. So this is the way, that another thing. Reinforcement process is another thing. Individuals are motivated to exhibit the model's behavior positive incentives or rewards are provided for that. So behavioral, that is the positively reinforced, is given more attentions, learn better, and perform more often. So that is the reinforcement of things. So it can be a process. So now various type of reinforcement in the learning process. There are positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, extreme things. The punishment is also. Punishment is the extreme situations. You can see, suppose you are not doing this, you are not decreasing the things, you are not performing frequently, you are thing. So there is a different thing, but it should be. All the schedule of reinforcement is the continuous schedule and partial reinforcement schedule. There are two types of schedules are there. Then organizational learning, again, learning can take place individual levels, team level, or organizational level. There are three levels learning can be done. Organizational learning can be described as the ability of the organizations and how you are performing that experimentation, observations, analysis, this kind of that, and promote the individual's development of the knowledge and skills. Organizational learning is also related to organizational change, and organizations is the process of learning may utilize, and one of the three learning is there. There are single loop and double loop detection there. Applications of the training, and training is also important, and training is a process through which the people systematically acquire and improve the skills. So there are participations and repetitions, transfer of training, feedback are given, because so many management training program, executive training program, through this way you can develop things. And definitely the feedback is also very important, because it is extremely required, because feedback only the things, the improvement, because if you are not getting the information, so effectiveness of the training you cannot justify. So that's why the end of the training feedback is very much important. Not only the current program, maybe in the next future training program it will be helped. Organizational behavior management, there are some pinpointing the behavior determinant, then exactly things are given, decided exactly how the desired behavior will be rewarded or not, and reevaluate the program periodically. What are the programs that reevaluate the things. Discipline is another aspect. You know, the discipline, the companies, it will be maintained. Otherwise, some of the administration of the punishment is there. It may be time, late coming, theft, alcoholic substitutions. So absenteeism, there are a lot of things are there. These are you have to obey, you have to perform these things, and you have to do it. Then your learning and behavior modification, there are some setting of goal, behavioral assessment, the frequency, duration, how much times are there. Then intervention of techniques, or techniques, the intervention or techniques that could be used as specified, evaluations, and the follow-up. So it is a part of your behavioral modification process. There are things. Nature of perceptions. The perceptions are basically here the process through which the information from your outside environment is selected, received, how much you are received, organized, and interpreted to make it a meaningful way. So first of all, this is a process basically. First you are selected, then you receive, then you are organized it, and ultimately you have to interpret the things. So this is a perception process basically, and determined by both your physiology and psychological characteristics, both the things. Human being were as a sensation conceived with only the physiological features. Persistence is a subjective process. Different people may perceive. and some environment differently based on your particular things. So I think okay, receivers is there. Hello effect is also there. Hello effect. Then hello effect, I can say something. Hello effect, some of the effect error are there. Then your stereotype, then your expectancy, and there are various problems in the social perceptions. That's the 4 things are areas. Straight away you cannot do things. Now the block we can 3 units are covered, then your block 2 almost finished. Only the last unit are to next slides I can do it. So okay, thank you very much. So in the next video, I think in the next time we can cover up the new blocks. So namaskar. Thank you very much. Thank you.